Ladies and gentlemen, Napoleon Hill spent his life studying the greatest minds of his era, industrial giants, self-made millionaires, inventors, and visionaries who built success from nothing. He discovered a remarkable truth: successful people do not wait for everything to work out before they take action. They act as if everything is already working in their favor. They behave as though their dream is already real. They think as if the opportunity is already theirs. They move as if the outcome is guaranteed, not because they are delusional, but because they understand one of the most powerful laws of the human mind. Your actions follow your beliefs, and your results follow your actions. When you act as if things always work out for you, you replace fear with confidence, hesitation with momentum, and doubt with determination. You shift your mental state from victimhood to responsibility, from powerless to powerful. Hill taught that the human mind becomes a magnet for whatever it continually expects. If you expect failure, your mind unconsciously prepares for it. But if you expect success, even before you see it, your thoughts, your energy, your speech, your behavior, and your decisions align with progress instead of retreat. Acting as if is not pretending. It is preparing. It is the mental rehearsal for the life you intend to live. And once the mind accepts that something is possible, it begins to create the conditions that make it real. Today, we explore the 6 principles behind this mindset, 6 truths that explain why acting as if everything always works out is one of the most powerful habits you can build. Napoleon Hill repeatedly emphasized that the mind is a powerful broadcasting and receiving station. It sends out vibrations of expectation and pulls back experiences that match those vibrations. When you consistently expect things to work out in your favor, you are not merely being optimistic. You are training your mind to operate from a state of confidence, clarity, and possibility. Expectation becomes a mental filter, shaping what you focus on, how you interpret events, and ultimately, the actions you take in response to life's challenges. Most people unknowingly expect things to go wrong. They anticipate disappointment, failure, rejection, or struggle. Because of this, their mind is constantly scanning for threats and obstacles. Their attention gravitates toward what might fall apart rather than toward what might succeed. This expectation produces hesitation, anxiety, and self-sabotage. It prevents them from noticing opportunities or acting boldly when a moment of potential arrives. Hill observed that this unconscious expectation of failure is one of the greatest barriers to success. But when you flip the script, when you begin expecting things to unfold in your favor, your inner world shifts. Your mind opens its creative channels. Instead of fear-based thinking, you activate possibility-based thinking. You approach tasks with enthusiasm instead of dread. You interpret setbacks as temporary rather than permanent. You see challenges as stepping stones rather than barriers. Expectation becomes a lens that colors everything you do. Acting as if everything works out doesn't mean ignoring difficulties. It means meeting them with a mental stance of, there is a way through this, and I will find it. This mindset transforms your thinking from reactive to proactive. When your expectation is positive, your emotions stabilize, your confidence grows, and your decisions become more decisive. Opportunities that were invisible under the fog of worry suddenly become clear because your mind is no longer consumed by imagining worst-case scenarios. Hill taught that expectation is a form of self-command. When you continually expect success, you are instructing your subconscious mind to search for paths, ideas, people, and circumstances that align with that expectation. Over time, your mind becomes conditioned to act with certainty even in uncertain environments. You become the kind of person who naturally moves toward solutions instead of retreating from challenges. This inner certainty becomes the foundation on which greater achievements are built, because your mind begins to mirror the very outcomes you believe are possible. Napoleon Hill taught that the subconscious mind is constantly at work influencing your habits, reactions, decisions, and emotional responses. Even when you are unaware of its activity, it is the silent engine driving your behavior, and it accepts whatever you repeatedly think, feel, or imagine as truth. This is why acting as if is such a powerful psychological tool. It bypasses logic and directly conditions the deeper part of your mind to support the identity you want to create. When you act as if everything always works out, you are sending a steady stream of instructions to your subconscious. You are signaling that you are a person who expects success, who believes in solutions, and who trusts the process of life. Over time, your subconscious begins reorganizing your thoughts and behaviors to align with that identity. It stops resisting your goals and starts supporting them. This is not magic. It is mental conditioning at its highest level. Hill frequently explained that the subconscious responds most strongly to emotion and repetition. When you carry yourself like someone who is capable and confident, your emotional state shifts. Your posture changes, your voice strengthens, your decisions become more deliberate, and your self-image elevates. These emotional shifts are exactly what the subconscious absorbs. It begins to assume that this confident, forward-moving version of you is your true identity, and it works to maintain that identity through your daily actions. Acting, if also sends powerful symbols to your mind. Small behaviors, speaking more decisively, setting higher standards, finishing tasks promptly, visualizing success before acting, become evidence that reinforces a successful identity. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is real and what is practiced. It simply follows the dominant pattern. The more consistently you act in alignment with a belief, the more deeply that belief is imprinted. This is why people who carry themselves like leaders eventually become leaders. People who walk with confidence eventually develop genuine confidence. People who act like opportunities are coming eventually notice and seize opportunities that others overlook. Their subconscious mind has been trained to move toward success automatically. Hill believed that identity precedes achievement. When you act as if everything works out, you are not pretending. You are rehearsing the reality you want until it becomes natural. Through repetition, your subconscious begins treating success as the default state rather than the exception. Here is AS 400-word expanded versions of Key Point Feign 3 with no ending added. Exactly as you requested, Napoleon Hill discovered that confidence is not merely a personality trait. It is a powerful mental force that determines what you notice, how you respond, and which opportunities you are capable of recognizing. Most people believe confidence comes after success, but Hill taught the opposite. Confidence is what attracts success in the first place. It alters your perception of reality. It changes the way you interpret situations, and it dramatically influences how other people respond to you. When you act as if everything always works out, you naturally begin to carry yourself with a level of confidence that is rare in a world dominated by fear and hesitation. This confidence does not come from arrogance. It comes from an internal belief that obstacles are manageable, that solutions exist, and that challenges are simply part of the path instead of signs to turn back. With this mindset, your brain becomes more open, flexible, and creative. Instead of shutting down under pressure, you begin scanning your environment for what can be done. Confidence opens your perceptual filters. Two people can stand in the same situation, facing the same circumstances, yet one will only see risk while the other notices possibilities. The confident person is the one who sees what others miss. They pick up on small signals, an unspoken need, an unfilled gap, a potential partnership, a new angle on a familiar problem. These opportunities were always there, but they are only visible to someone whose mind is not clouded by fear. Hill observed that confident people act boldly, and bold action draws opportunities toward them. They make eye contact. They speak with conviction. They ask for what they want. They pursue ideas others hesitate on. They take the first step without needing the entire path laid out. These behaviors naturally expand their network, build trust with others, and create momentum that opens even more doors. Opportunities flow toward those who appear ready to receive them. Confidence is also magnetic. People instinctively trust someone who seems sure of themselves. They want to work with them, buy from them, invest in them, and support them. Confidence communicates reliability, leadership, and competence, even before you've proven anything. It tells the world that you are someone who expects good outcomes, and people prefer partnering with those who move through life with clarity and direction. Hill believed that confidence is not just an emotional state. It is a strategy. It is a way of thinking and behaving that creates the conditions in which opportunity thrives. Napoleon Hill taught that one of the greatest enemies of achievement is as hesitation, the silent, invisible force that steals opportunity from people long before failure ever does. Hesitation is born from fear of making the wrong choice, fear of judgment, fear of wasted effort, fear of stepping into the unknown. Most people live in a constant state of mental negotiation, endlessly debating whether something will work out before they even try. This internal doubt drains energy, clouds judgment, and delays action until the moment of opportunity has passed. Positive assumption. The belief that things will work out cuts directly through this paralysis. When you act as if events are unfolding in your favor, you eliminate the mental friction that causes hesitation. Instead of asking, "What if this goes wrong?" you begin asking, "What if this goes right?" This shift may seem subtle, but its impact is profound. Your decisions become cleaner, your actions become faster, and your energy becomes more focused. Hill emphasized that decisive people are powerful people. The world opens doors for those who move with clarity and closes them to those who overthink. When you assume that your efforts will succeed, you free yourself from the endless cycle of doubt and second guessing. You begin taking action immediately and consistently without needing perfect conditions or perfect information. Progress becomes a natural byproduct of your mindset. Positive assumption also changes how you evaluate risk. Instead of viewing challenges as threats, you interpret them as part of the journey. Fear loses its grip because you trust that a solution will appear as long as you keep moving. This allows you to attempt things others avoid, to say yes to opportunities others overlook, and to push forward while others are still contemplating their first step. Even your posture and tone of voice shift when you expect success. You walk into rooms differently, speak differently, and carry yourself with an energy that communicates capability. People are more willing to support someone who appears confident and decisive than someone who radiates uncertainty. This creates a feedback loop. Your positive assumption leads to bold action creates opportunities, and opportunities reinforce your belief that things work out. Hesitation fades not because fear disappears, but because your desire to advance becomes stronger than your fear of failing. Positive assumption strengthens that desire until action becomes effortless and forward motion becomes your natural state. Napoleon Hill understood that success is not created in isolation. It is shaped by your interactions, your relationships, and the way people respond to your presence. Hill often stated that your mental attitude is continuously broadcasting signals to the world around you, signals that attract support or repel it, invite trust or create distance, inspire cooperation or generate resistance. When you act as if everything always works out, you radiate a level of energy that naturally draws people toward you. Humans are highly attuned to emotional cues. Before you speak a single word, people sense your confidence, your doubt, your enthusiasm, or your fear. They pick up on your tone, your posture, your facial expressions, and the way you carry yourself. When you move through life expecting things to work out, your energy communicates certainty. You appear grounded, focused, and self-assured. This energy is magnetic because it offers something rare as stability. People gravitate toward individuals who seem stable and confident. They feel more comfortable sharing ideas with them, collaborating with them, and trusting them with responsibilities. Even opportunities that require risk are more likely to be offered to someone who exudes optimism rather than someone who radiates hesitation. Your belief in positive outcomes gives others permission to believe as well. Hill observed that successful people cultivate relationships not just through skill, but through presence. Their energy makes others feel safe, motivated, and inspired. When you act with an everything works out mindset, you project emotional resilience. You show that you are not easily rattled by setbacks or overwhelmed by challenges. This steadiness encourages people to invest in you, emotionally, financially, professionally, because you appear capable of navigating uncertainty. Furthermore, your energy shapes the way conversations unfold. A person who expects success speaks differently. Their words carry conviction. This influences negotiations, partnerships, leadership roles, and everyday interactions. People respond to that conviction by offering respect, resources, and opportunities that would not be extended to someone consumed by self-doubt. Confidence expressed through energy is persuasive in ways logic alone can never accomplish. Even in moments of difficulty, the energy of positive expectation creates an atmosphere where solutions feel possible. This atmosphere motivates others to contribute their best ideas and efforts because they sense momentum. They want to be part of something that feels like it is moving forward. Your energy becomes a silent invitation, a signal that you are someone worth supporting.